Forced to work from home by your employer? Laid off or feeling depressed at home? Do you want to make money working from anywhere? We'll show you how to do it from your couch. It's time for another episode of the Work From Home Show. Coming to you from their homes in Austin, Texas and Tampa, Florida, here are your hosts, Adam and Naresh.
Homeboys, homegirls, home trends, what up all my homies out there? Welcome back to another episode of the Work From Home Show. I'm your host, Naresh, along with my co-host...
Adam! Adam's in the house.
Adam in the house.
I think you just forgot my name, that's what happened.
Nope, but who can forget Adam? Our listeners love you, and yeah, we have listeners now. We actually have some real listeners. So, today, I don't know what happened, Adam. All of a sudden, it's like a rocket launch, like kaboom. You know?
I know. I'm in these podcast Facebook groups, and I see people posting there like, "Oh, how can I get people to listen to my show? My numbers are so terrible." And I'm like, man, you're wrong topic then. Whatever you're doing it wrong. So
yeah, well, they just didn't partner with the right people. I think that's what it is.
Probably.
But we want to thank all our listeners out there. It's, Adam and I enjoy making fun of ourselves. So in our minds and in our hearts, we'll always have 18 listeners, maybe 15 sometimes. But wow, like it was like a rocket launch. It's pretty cool to see that all the homies out there giving us credit where credit is deserved, found us somehow on the internet. We're starting to get some good publicity as well. So just thankful for you guys. Continue to send us your comments and your emails. hello@workfromhomeshow.com, hello@workfromhomeshow.com. Hit us up on Twitter. Just type in the Work From Home Show. You'll find us there. You'll find us on Facebook. So we're pretty active there on Facebook, posting episodes. You know how to find us. So Adam, let's move on to today's topic. And I felt like this is timely and important because I personally, whether it's me or my friends or family members, we've been going through, or we can relate to this somehow. Not as extreme, but we can relate to it. And it's essentially a news story out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. So it's I've been to Ann Arbor, and it's a college town. I went there to party. It's a lot of fun. But it's out of Ann Arbor, Michigan, and two roommates.
Roomies, not homies.
Yep, they're roomies, not homies. They're definitely not homies. Had they been homies, this would have never happened. They would be listening to the podcast and they would be very peaceful with each other. But two roomies got into an argument about restrictions created by the Wuhan virus concerns, and it escalated into a fatal shooting. Yes, one roommate took out a gun and shot the other multiple times, and he shot him. I'm assuming it's a he. I'm just making that. They haven't named any names, but I'm assuming that they're both men. But anyway, it ended in a fatality, which is sad. But the reason why I want to talk about this on the show... Well,
hang on. Let's give the person a little bit of backstory. His roommate was coming after him with a crowbar.
Okay. So how about you fill in those? Okay. Well
I'm just saying. I mean, it's a terrible thing that he shot him and killed him, but in his semi-defense, I mean, a guy with a crowbar was running at him.
Okay. So the Wuhan virus restrictions led to people. I'm sure it started out with words, and then it probably went to hands, and then it went to crowbars.
Then it went to zombies.
And then it went to crowbar.
I've seen Zombieland.
Yeah, crowbar. Wow. I've been in not a lot of fights, but I've been in a decent amount, and I've never attacked anyone with a crowbar. I've never had anyone attack me with a crowbar. So I think that guy was the guy who was being
own a crowbar.
Yeah, who owns crowbars these days? There's some weird stuff going on in Ann Arbor, Michigan. But I just found this topic, all kidding aside, to be timely because so many people who are working from home, especially in those especially if you're younger. So if you're in your 20s, obviously if you're in college, you're not in school right now, you're probably at home with your parents. But if you're in your 20s, if you're Gen Z, if you're maybe even a millennial who lives in New York City or San Francisco, I mean, I have a lot of friends in San Francisco, and these are like 33-year-olds who have 5 roommates. That's how it is over there. So it's just a very relevant discussion to, if you have all these roommates, how can I concentrate? How can I work from home with 5 roommates? And then on top of that, with these Wuhan virus restrictions, people are now so paranoid and they're turning on the TV and they're scared and they think the virus is everywhere and they're going to catch it. And look, I say I can personally relate to it because I'm not going to name any names, but there are people who I know who won't let their spouse go fill up the gas tank or go to the grocery store or go, say hi to a friend across the street. That's how that's how paranoid it's gotten, to the point that you just have to be on this lockdown at home and you have to be in front of your spouse at all times. So, Adam, how can our listeners, especially the ones with because it's even worse with roommates, at least with spouses, you still love each other at the end of the day. But with roommates, you probably didn't really like each other to begin with.
I'm just going to give a one-word answer to that: alcohol.
Alcohol, meaning in a good way or a
Oh no,
bad
well,
way?
at least whenever I was in college, the roommate, alcohol made everything better, made everything a whole lot more fun. But in all seriousness, I mean, headphones will be your friend because you can
Good one.
lock yourself out, get away from the world. And especially, I mean, you hear stories about like girls who go to the gym and wear headphones just so people don't talk to them. It's amazing the barrier that headphones create. I mean, if my kids come into my office while I'm working and I have headphones on, it's like, all right, turn around and get it and walk out.
Oh yeah, I do that too. I do that at home, and when people see me, my mother-in-law, my wife, I might even be done with. Actually, it's rare that I'm in front of my computer not working. If I'm in front of my computer, it's almost 100% for work. It's not for playing a game or watching a movie. But yeah, you're absolutely right. They know, oh yeah, he's got his headphones in, so I gotta be quiet or I have to leave him alone. So that's a really good tip.
Yeah, and the other thing you can do is kind of, we've talked about it some before, but make sure your roommates know kind of your work hours almost. And just, if they come and interrupt you at certain times, just say, hey guys, gals, whatever, whoever you live with, I got to work like, 8 to noon or whatever. So, if you can, I'm going to be over here in my space. I'm happy to hang out these other times, but man, I got to do this. And if you have to go out, the easiest thing to do is just say, hey, I'm going out in today's environment. What can I get for you? So, make as few trips as possible, because that gives, like right now in our house, in the last week, I've left the house one time, and that was to go on a family walk, because since Erin works at the hospital, like if we need something at the store, she's the one who goes, because let's be honest, she's already been exposed to it there. I mean, not 100% guaranteed, but 99% guaranteed that like they've had cases at her hospital, and she works with the people who've had to work in that room. So it's very likely she's been exposed at some point. So it's like, well, you're already out of the house, so you may as well, do all the other stuff and don't need to chance anything else. So
Yeah, well, one of the challenge, I'll just share personal experience, and it's a challenge right now. It's not a challenge during, pre-Wuhan virus, but working from home, you get bogged down with your work and just being at home, and you almost feel like, man, I need to get out. I need to go for a walk. I need to go to the gym. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm so involved in the community here in Tampa, because, I've been on lockdown for the last 7 years, on self-lockdown. And so after, I would say about 6:15, 6:30, my night completely opens up. And when I was single, that's how I started getting into more of the community stuff and got involved with some government organizations, some business organizations, nonprofits. And now, even a few years later, I'm still very involved in those organizations. And people have told me, they were like, oh yeah, you're really involved because you work at home, and so you have this itch to get out of the house and get involved and be active, which could be true. I think that that's probably a valid explanation. And so our listeners who work from home, I have a feeling that you're going to start feeling that itch to get out of the house and to do something more than just working, do something more with your life. And so I do recommend that you do that. Just don't do it under the coronavirus, Wuhan virus lockdown, and don't do it when you have 5 roommates. Check with your roommates on what's acceptable to them. And I know that sounds kind of insane, really. Like, oh, I need to check with my roommate if I want to go meet, a few of my friends, or if I want to go volunteer at a nonprofit. Well, unfortunately, we live in a very strange, rare time where it's best to be communicative, keep that open communication. You don't want to end up like this individual did in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, and even when this is over, if you are working from home with your roommates, just remember, especially if everybody ends up working from home, remember that when you're working, you're more likely to be intense, focused on work. So you need to make sure that you have time for not working. All work, no play makes whoever a dull boy, I think is the phrase, or whatever it is. And it's really true. I mean, it's going to be very tempting for you all to go into your own worlds and never come out. And, especially if you start your own business, it's even easier to bog yourself down and be just working nonstop. But if you want to keep that relationship going and keep the household or, roommate situation on a good level, you need to take time and, hang out with your friends, hang out with your wife, hang out with your husband, whomever, and just have some time that everybody's at home but not working. You got to differentiate, because it's going to be very tempting to be like, oh, I'm at home, I work here.
And let me tell you, let me just share a sample schedule that I had. This was my schedule until we moved into our house. And slowly things have been removed from this schedule. But at one point, my schedule will start with Sunday. So Sunday night, I would do yoga and meditation, and I would pray at the Hindu temple, one of the Hindu temples here in Tampa. Monday, I would play grass volleyball. Tuesday, I would play tennis. Wednesday, I'd play basketball. Thursday, I'd play beach volleyball. Friday, I'd go out and party when I was single, and also like the first 6-7 months of my wife and I when we were boyfriend-girlfriend, our relationship. So Friday night was like party night. Saturday, I would play basketball again outside. So Wednesday would be indoor basketball. Saturday would be outdoor basketball. So that's the entire week. And then sprinkled in there would be like once a month Wednesday night would be twice a month Wednesday night would be a nonprofit meeting that I was involved with. Once a month would be a community event that I was in through an organization I was involved with the mayor's office in Tampa, Mayor Bob Buckhorn. Let's see, what else? There were some nights where we'd have date nights, so obviously I wouldn't do some of these things. We would go to movies. That's one thing that we do a lot. We go to movies and dinner. Movie first, dinner after. So yeah, like that's how I organized my entire week for a couple of years. That's what it was like. And I would tell people in San Francisco and New York and Chicago, like, yeah, this is what my schedule's like. And they were amazed, like, whoa, man, I wish I could do this and do that. I wish I had more time. I didn't even bring up chess. I would play after basketball on Wednesdays. There's a chess group in Tampa, really, really good players who play at this bar late at night. And I would go there and be there till like midnight, just playing chess. And people would tell me, man, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. And for you homies out there, all those hobbies that you used to have when you were younger, now's your time to get back into those, because you are going to, as I said earlier, you are going to feel that itch.
Yeah, I had rugby, but other than that, my schedule was nothing at all like yours. It was nice. Like when Aaron would come home from work, I'd just stop working. So, it was very much just, I don't have to work now, so I'm not going to work now. And then, it's like, oh, she left the house, I'll start working again. Oh, she's home, I'll stop working. Oh, I want to go do this, I'll stop working. So it was... I did that. I did not have the amount of things you had. I had like 3 days a week I had stuff going on.
Yeah, well, part of being a stay-at-home dad is it's not humanly possible for me to sustain those events. And so I've had to scale back. I don't do any more grass volleyball. I don't do any more indoor basketball or outdoor basketball. I've just had to, now really all I do is the tennis, a little bit of the nonprofit stuff. I gave up the chess because it's just too late at night. I gave up the yoga and rejuvenation yoga, the rejuvenation yoga and meditation. So a lot of it is just natural. Like you get married, you have kids, and priorities take over. But I will say that I am looking forward to my son reaching a certain age. We'll see. I think I can probably start at 8 months where, I would just put him in a stroller and we go out to the park, or we go to our backyard and he's just watching me dribble a basketball around or play with a tennis racket.
Good luck with
that. Well, the key is I just want him to watch. I'm not asking him to play. I'm not asking him to do anything. I just want him to watch without crying. And right now he's got the attention span of a 2-month-old, which is probably less than a few seconds. It's kind of hard. I try reading to him, and he zones out within, I would say, maybe 20 seconds. But yeah, I am waiting for him to reach that age. We'll figure it out, whenever it might be, whether it's 8 months or 1 year or 2 years. But I want him to reach that age where he's seeing what daddy's doing, and maybe he'll pick up some of these things as well.
Yeah, I guess it's possible, but I think I think you need to read the child development books and see what he's going to be likely doing. It's going to be way more than that. But yeah, I mean, it is important for them to see you doing that kind of stuff. And it's one thing you could do potentially if you're just starting to stay at home is find somebody else who's working from home. I mean, your friends, or you probably know somebody who's working from home. And
right now everyone's working.
Yeah, well, yeah, right now. But whenever this is all said and done, and you're still working from home, if your job sends you that way, or if you start a business now that allows you to do that, and just find like-minded people. Find people who are working from home, and it makes you feel like your situation isn't freakish. Yeah, you're going to be you might be in the smaller percentage of people, but you're not some weirdo. When you're with other people who do it, then it feels as normal as it can feel.
Yep. Awesome. Well, Adam, any more final thoughts?
No, I would just say there's no reason not to.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in to another episode of the Work From Home Show. Email us, hello@workfromhomeshow.com. Check out our website.
So beautiful now.
Yeah.
I did a good job. I did good.
Yeah, Adam's the one. That's all him. It's like 99. Outside of me changing a few of the copy content things, it was 99% Adam. So good job, Adam. Good job creating that website, workfromhomeshow.com. And it looks great on mobile, tablet, PC, laptop. It's awesome. And again, we're available everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud. So leave us a review. We greatly appreciate it. Get on that mailing list at workfromhomeshow.com so you can get a free copy of my book, 50 Shades of Marketing. And until next time, keep on working from home.
And before we go, here's a special announcement from our partners at the American Medical Association and its president, Dr. Patrice A. Harris.
Leading medical and health organizations are calling on the American public to combat the spread of the virus by staying at home. The American Medical Association, American Hospital Association, and American Nurses Association this week issued an unprecedented open letter to the public asking that they adhere to physical distancing and to stay at home. Dr. Patrice A. Harris, president of the American Medical Association, on why this is necessary.
Each of us has a role in fighting this virus, and Americans must take these steps to drastically slow down the spread of COVID-19. These measures not only help to protect our families and friends, but also give physicians, nurses, and everyone on the front lines a fighting chance at having the equipment, time, and resources necessary to take on this immense challenge.
As America commits to staying at home, what other important steps should the public take during these challenging times?
Being isolated can be difficult for all of us, and physicians and the AMA are concerned about people's mental health as part of their overall health. It's important to stay connected with family and friends during this time through video chats, social media, or just over the telephone. Check in and find out how your loved ones are doing, which can improve your mental health and that of those close to you. If we all do our part, we can win the war against this pandemic.
Those with urgent medical needs should seek care. Everyone else is advised to stay at home.